Starr,
I'm
Mr. Spencer
so glad
Gilbert.
you're back in that chair.
What's up?
Oh, I have things to discuss about that. Mr. Billy Business.
Our dirty aunt is back.
Dirty and Ralph. Dirty and Ralph.
And I got a song, a rock song. You guys held down the fort beautifully while I was hard at work in London for us.
You got blessed by Tom Cruise. Spoiler
I
alert.
did. That was a cue.
Did I not tell you before the show started? She's like, I want to do this joke where JTE plays a video of me when I say a certain thing. I was like, if it's a timed cue, JTE will not hit it. I guarantee you.
But what I'm looking forward to is finding out when that does pop up later today.
Careful, we found out he has the power to like snap back at us.
Yeah, you gotta be real, like, chill.
I love you, JT. You're actually my hero for that snack back. I heard that yesterday's show was the greatest we had ever done, so I will say A, ouch. And B, I feel honor bound to inform you that we can only hope to disappoint you today. And that is
You blend right in. You don't look like a tourist at all.
That old man loves you.
The old man just like, get the hell.
Dumbledore's like, we got places to be, Rob. Yeah, let's keep going.
He actually, so the bagpipe player actually called me over
I'll bet he
and
did.
asked my buddy Lewis
Want to see under me kilt?
to reshoot the video where we were dancing together. He asked me to come over and do that, but my buddy Lewis was shooting it and I don't have that video, sadly. Yeah, today is going to disappoint us ultimately, but we will do the best we can. That is the caveat that I like to give.
Graded on the jet lag curve, you know?
Yeah, it's the
Give her
jet
a
lag
break.
curve. Also, that's like day one of a job. I like to let people know that, and right before sex. Today we're going to talk about
Dirty and Ralph. Segway. What are we talking about today?
the Joaquin Phoenix Batman that almost was edible porgs,
Oh.
cute movie animals that we would eat, and movies to never watch on a plane. Let's start with Joaquin Phoenix. Bum, bum, bum. The
Speaking
new-
of disappointing sex,
I'll bet he'd be real freaky. I mean, talk about
as a
dirty.
Batman, right? So this
Oh,
is
it's a bat. Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah, it's a Batman. He'd be a real freaky Batman in bed.
he's a crier.
Do you know who has the weirdest sex appeal besides Joaquin Phoenix is Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, right?
The Americans guy?
No.
that's-
From the Tudors. He played Henry VIII.
Does this deserve another
I
Dirty
was
and
thinking
Roth?
Gimli. I was like, that's
Yeah, I
a
was
really
like,
weird.
solid?
I was like, sure, yeah. Wait, who's that? What's that guy's name?
And my dick.
Oh my God. All right, we're just left the studio. So it's going very well today. We're actually going to do this story, I promise,
Okay.
through the 200 people that are currently going, when are you going to talk about Batman? Right now. During the press junket for Mother, exclamation point, Darren Aronofsky talked to Yahoo Movies a little bit about what his Batman Year One movie would have been. Now, this movie was the film that would have been instead of / before Nolan's Batman series. So he said, quote, I always wanted Joaquin Phoenix for Batman. It's funny, I think we were just sort of out of time with our idea. I understood that with comics, that there was room for all different types of titles, but I think Hollywood is at that time, it was still kind of in the golden age of comics when they were still just doing classic titles in classic ways. So Warner Brothers had hired Aronofsky to do the film. He collaborated with Frank Miller to write it, and then it fell apart in 2002. Probably because I think Aronofsky just can't work under that kind of studio mandates. I think he just sort of does his own thing. But Billy,
Yes.
tell us something.
Roth, dirty and Roth. Yes.
Why am I aunt? Can I be dirty cousin Roth or dirty sister Roth? I'm like the cool aunt. I have gum literally
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Well,
a
the
very
dirty
ant
ant is,
move.
I
The
feel like
dirty ant is the
inherently
cool
also
ant,
the cool
yeah.
ant. Yeah.
Tell us some of the other things that would have been different about this movie.
Yeah, so he wasn't going to stick to the year. First of all, the year one comic book is Joe knows. I don't know if you guys have read it, but it doesn't really
graphic
focus. Excuse me, graphic novel. The origin to World War II. The graphic novel doesn't focus as much on Bruce. This was going to focus more on Bruce. The graphic novel kind of goes a little bit more towards James Gordon, but Bruce was going to have lost his fortune after his parents were killed. Alfred was going to be an African-American mechanic named Little Al who ran an auto repair shop and was Bruce's mentor. This is the one that kind of made me laugh. Bruce doesn't travel the world. He just reads books on various types of combat and then practices them. Like, that would have been the worst montage in the history of
Well, no, it's cool.
cinema.
He got to reuse that idea. Someone did in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie when somebody flushed the books on ninjutsu and Splinter taught himself from books people flushed on the toilet.
Or when I was in 4th grade watching Bloodsport on repeat and thought I could fight as a result.
So we've seen that this can work in film.
Easily.
Right. I mean, I don't know how that would translate to the big screen, but yes, in practicality, all you have to do is read a book and you're a ninja
I've
master.
read so many nunchuck books that if I had a pair, you guys would be in big trouble.
I don't know why I especially like the idea that the Batmobile would have been a Lincoln Continental.
Wait,
like,
is that in there?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
definitely in there.
Gordon's character was suicidal. So the first question I have for the panel and for you, audience, is thumbs up or thumbs down to a Joaquin Phoenix Batman?
We're just talking
Just
about the
the
casting
idea
or
of it.
everything we just read?
casting?
Just the casting.
Yeah, I think thumbs up. He's
Yeah.
weird, he's moody, he's kind of big. Like, I would totally buy him in both roles.
Yeah, I'll give him sort of a Keaton-y sort of take where he's sort of weird and darkly quirky in a...
Yeah, because I believe he's insane. Or at least
Yeah,
partly
yeah.
insane.
That was the
so-
best part of Michael Keaton's Batman was, especially in Batman Returns, you're like, this guy is just kind of, he just sits there in his room all day waiting for
that
the bat
thing to go
signal
off.
to
Yeah.
come on. Like he has nothing else to do. I could imagine Joaquin Phoenix doing the same thing at home.
That's why I
Yeah.
liked him for Doctor Strange, too.
Yeah, well, and I think that Kevin Feige fought really hard for that and desperately wanted it to happen. But I don't think that, I'd be curious if Joaquin Phoenix would have done that kind of movie if it was with Aronofsky, like under those circumstances, if he would have done. And he, I think, would have been really cool because Batman should have been insane. My cue no longer works for this, though, but what does Joaquin say?
What's he gonna say?
Well, we would have liked to see it.
Slow pan. Really, take your time on that.
That is in fact what we
I thought you were
say.
going to play the red carpet clip of Joaquin Phoenix where he asks if there's a frog in his hair. Because he's clearly on mushrooms. That's the Batman audition tape for me.
Oh my God, that would have been amazing.
Google that one.
You know what I think we need to see? I need to see a suicidal Gordon and the Joaquin Batman play that out for me.
And the Joaquin Batman?
Yeah.
Oh. Jim. I've been brooding in my manor, and I just thought that maybe I could sell some copper wire I stripped from an abandoned foreclosure house because I'm poor now and could maybe buy a bat costume out of it. What do you think?
You know, whether you're dressed as a man or a bat, none of it really matters. My wife just left me. They just did a lot of layoffs at the police station. And I think I'm going to take a lot of pills today.
Oh, cool. So you don't care if I beat up a bunch of poor people, right? Seem like you got your own thing going on.
Yeah, I'm just going to stare off to the middle distance for a while.
Cool, me too.
The ScreenJunkies players! Yay! I also just like the idea for some reason with the Lincoln that Matthew McConaughey just shows up to talk about the
driver.
Batmobile.
I like that Aronofsky was like, I'm going to completely tear apart all these weird little superhero tropes, and then I'm going to give him Green Hornet's Black Beauty.
But you know what's weird is that some of these things ended up happening anyways, just in different movies. Like Selena Kyle would have been African American and would have been more prominent. Yeah, Catwoman happened like 2 years after this. Bruce Wayne would have lost his fortune. Yeah, that happened in Dark Knight Rises. Like they cherry picked a lot of these things later on, but all in one movie might have been. A
This
little
would have
much.
been the dirt worst movie.
Really?
This would have been the king of, because remember, like before the MCU and like the Nolan Batmans, and everyone just kept kind of being like, we're gonna make a comic book movie, but we're just gonna do our own weird thing with it, like the Halle Berry Catwoman movie. This would have been like the king of that. This would have been so much worse than that weird Nick Cage Ninja Superman movie that Schnepp did the documentary about. This would have been so awful.
I
know.
disagree. I think that Aronofsky, like coming off of Requiem for a Dream right before this, like this would have been a really dark, messed up movie if they'd let him make it. And like you said, they cherry picked a bunch of this for Batman Begins, of him losing everything and building it back. And I don't know, Little Al sounds dumb, but
Yeah, Little Al. Come on, guys.
that could have gotten cut. And other than that, it's not doomed to fail.
But, well, they didn't cherry pick things from this movie. Dark Knight Rises ends with him walking away from his fortune because they think he died in an atomic bomb accident. That's not a movie about a weird, crazy, homeless.
No, I'm talking Batman
Bruce Wayne.
Begins, not Dark Knight Rises. Like,
Well, he
doesn't
loses
lose the
his
fortune in that
fortune.
either.
The stock market like crashes or whatever, and Bane like bankrupts Bruce Wayne like halfway through Dark Knight Rises. So he does lose his fortune. Kind of has to break into his own.
No, but to me,
house.
Batman Begins, like he becomes a hobo, like traveling the earth, learning karate. So this is
he's kind of homeless, but he didn't read as many books.
He didn't read.
Yeah, he did not read
Probably a
as
better
many-
choice to have him learn from
many books.
Liam Neeson.
I'm glad we got the Nolan trilogy, but to me, I think this would have at least been an interesting movie, whether it was good or bad. Like, it would have been bonkers. I don't know. What do you guys think? Good or bad? You know what's delicious and definitely good? Porgs. Our own Jenny. I don't get a segue for that. That was
That was a good segue, JT.
decently
That was a
done.
smooth one.
Actually.
As smooth as the ride on an actual Segway.
I earned that one, damn it. So our own Jenny Nicholson theorized that porgs were actually Luke's food source.
Yeah.
And now there's a children's book that maybe confirms this Billy business.
Yeah, so there's a book, Star Wars Made Easy, where there's that is not from the book, but that just is
I
too
just
good to
found
not
that.
show.
I found that this morning and we needed it.
Yeah.
So there's a book, Star Wars Made Easy, and one of the sections called Luke's Island Highlights. It says, small bird-like porgs are the island's most adorable inhabitants. Cute? Definitely. Tasty? Maybe.
Gotta eat something.
Grain of salt. Someone on Reddit posted the image from Star Wars Last Jedi, the comic book characters.
Coloring book,
The
yeah.
coloring book with the characters are going on a great porg.
Those are the caretaker characters. They have little, like, trap net things,
Yeah.
and there's a bunch of porgs.
That one's sucking the brain out of that fish.
Yeah.
And we're still not sure if Chewbacca is not chomping down on a porg.
He's got something in his mouth.
something in his mouth. Was it his co-pilot and he got a little hungry? I don't know. So here's the thing. This tells you how jet lagged I am. I forgot Ernest Borgnine, my porg.
Yes.
Who I was going to hold just to make you guys feel guilty for thinking it was funny to eat porgs. But then I realized we eat a lot of cute things.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought
do.
it was important to talk about some of our most famous movie animals and whether or not we would eat them. So let's take a look. Let's not. Norman.
Oh,
This is
Norman from City
Norman
Slickers.
From City Slickers.
Oh, yeah, he gets eaten.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't
goodbye.
really like, what would that be?
Veal.
Yeah, not a fan.
Well, let him grow up.
And then
Oh,
eat
okay.
him.
Well, yeah, as an
Then he
adult,
gets eaten.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Slaughter him as an adult,
Yes.
but not as a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I go for the veal. I have no
For the veal?
sympathy whatsoever. Let all the vegetarian people say I'm the devil. I'll eat the hell out of
I
that
am
thing.
not eating Norman. I don't eat veal, but I'm specifically never eating Norman, even as an adult.
Fair.
What about Babe?
Oh, hell yeah,
cute.
babe.
Oh, babe. I mean,
babe.
he talks, right?
He does
So
talk.
that's tough to eat.
Yeah, but are you personally slaughtering it before you eat it?
Oh, we haven't decided that. That's good.
Yes.
Yes, you must do the slaughter yourself.
Yeah, no way. I can't kill someone that's pleading for its life. Please. I have a family.
I would probably just do the Dexter thing where I would just kind of like put it to sleep and then just have a padded room full of like, what is it? Just cellophane or whatever, and just cut them up and have a delicious breakfast.
Babe has not earned Dexter's murder. Babe is not a criminal.
Did you see the second one? The second one's pretty bad.
Okay.
George
All right.
Miller directed.
Bambi.
terrible.
People eat venison. Do you eat venison? You eat a little Bambi?
Yeah. Oh, Bambi's dead.
No.
Yeah.
I guess I just don't like gamey meats enough to kill all these things. If they were cows or non-talking pigs or chickens, yeah, they're done. But
Okay.
I'm just not a big deer guy. Who do you live in, like the outback? I don't know. Whatever. The forest.
Now you're not supposed to shoot baby deer. You're supposed to shoot bucks.
Oh, hunt and
But
talk with the
once Bambi done grows
Kentucky
up,
Joe Starr.
I'll get in that deer stand. I'll shoot the hell out of Bambi Senior. Maybe get a good 8-point,
You
10-point rack. Put that
Cull
on the
down
wall.
their numbers
So-
to preserve, the
herd.
ecosystem. Yeah.
What we just
Thin out the
learned,
herd.
Joe kicked off Bambi by killing Mama.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep, very well. You
heard it here.
This is what my mother used to do to me
Confirmed.
when I was little. She wanted me to try everything because she didn't want me to be like closed-minded about food. So she'd be like, "Oh, try this." "Oh, what is it, Mom?" "It's Le Pan." Let's take a look at what Le Pan is. It's a rabbit.
That's an Ewok. Nice.
We are
It's
killing
not
it
an
Is
today.
this the wrong picture? I don't know what's happening. Is that Le Pan? Is he from one of the Ewok movies?
That's Lumpy's cousin.
Is he from Caravan of Courage?
So, would you eat an Ewok? Is that the question?
Le Pan.
Yes.
You can comment on that. Ewok would be like bear meat.
Yeah, well, like you said, your mom wanted you to try anything, and like I don't like deer and I don't like veal because I have tasted deer and veal and rabbit, and they're just gamey and gross. But I would have to take a couple curiosity bites of that Ewok.
Yeah.
Just
okay.
to see what it tastes
You
like.
gotta know.
I will say this. This is what I want my first reveal scene of Luke Skywalker to be. You see a bunch of cute porgs and all that, and already you're like, oh god, are they gonna go overboard with the cute porgs? And then you just do a hard cut to Luke Skywalker going full Tywin Lannister and just butchering a porg while he talks to Rey.
I was gonna say cute porgs, and then just like from off screen, the lightsaber goes through it, and then he lifts it up to his mouth. That's good porg.
I just want him
tells
talking
you.
about being a gray Jedi while he just slaughters this thing, and a Mel Brooks amount of blood is going everywhere. And then one of the nuns goes, "You just gotta know where to stand."
Do you know why I feel like that will happen? Because that's sort of a callback to Yoda making the stew.
Yes. Porg stew.
Rocking and rolling.
Stew. What about this specific rabbit? It is Kevin Hart. I do want you to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll eat that rabbit.
He was a really annoying part
was a
of Secret Life of Pets. And
So
he was a murderer, so it's only just that
So you
we
don't
eat him back.
You don't want to eat rabbit, but you'll eat this rabbit.
Well, look, I get a little Old Testament when it comes to animals. Like if they attack me, then it's game on.
Okay,
and
got
that
it.
rabbit has a
So
rap
do you-
sheet a
what do
mile
you-
long.
What do you eat bear? Like, do you only eat predator animals?
Yeah, I only eat. I like a fair fight. So, literal Hunger Games. It's me versus my food.
So I started when my mom. So Le Pan is rabbit, and when she told me that, I started crying, and I was like, "I hate Thumper!" But I would eat that rabbit because he is such a dick.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was
It's a jerk rabbit.
He's Kevin Hart. He's Kevin Hart rabbit. I would eat him just so he couldn't be extorted later on by his side piece rabbit.
Oh, topical.
Whoa, SJU in the morning.
All right. We're gonna move off from this, but we just have 2 more animals for you to tell us if you would eat them, and I'll let you decide.
Ugh.
No.
No.
I feel like it
mean-
would taste like eel, which sometimes I like.
Oh yeah, that's
like
not a
eel.
bad point. Yeah, I would eat it out of service to my country. I'd choke it down. This is for you, America. Yes, that's
No.
how I would eat Jar Jar.
He looks like he would taste like snake or something. And snake's not good. So I'm just
Nor
not
is
gonna
crocodile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is he a reptile? He's not a reptile. He's like more fish
He's
than.
like amphibious.
He's
He'd be
amphibious.
like a frog. Have you had
Ugh.
frog's legs?
Ugh,
Under the sea.
I have, but yeah, I guess if you put enough garlic on anything, sure, I'll eat Jar Jar.
Jar Jars with garlic.
Do you think when you throw him into the boiling pot, you know how like lobsters will make that noise? He just goes like. as he dies. Oh yeah, they're dead.
Oh yeah, I bet
great song.
I would
Sebastian.
need Sebastian immediately,
Yeah.
talking or
Yeah.
singing or no. But Flounder, I feel like would be poisonous. I feel like I would die. The bright colors generally are a message to other predators, like don't eat, we'll die. Like I could probably get some really good sushi chef to like just cut out his
Yeah.
liver or something like that.
Would
but
you
it'd be
eat-
high risk
The bottom half of Ariel.
all day long, Joe.
The food segment's
Dirty
not
Uncle Spencer.
Aunt Roth, would you eat the bottom half of Ariel?
I have and I would again. That's a true story. Do you know
Fanfic
worst movies to watch on a plane? So I just took a really long plane ride. I watched like 5 movies, and this morning Leslie Gill asked, "What are the worst movies to watch on a plane?" Now there are some very obvious picks here that we can think about: Alive, Flight,
Sully. Although Sully, I feel like I'm in good hands,
Snakes on a Plane,
Yeah. Die
Any-
Hard 2?
Die Hard 2. And generally speaking, they will not play movies on a plane. Holy Mary, mother of God.
Just World War Z?
What movie is this?
Final
Destination.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
The humanity.
a
Normally
whole
they
thing.
won't play movies like that on a plane, but Billy.
That is not true because as a child, I was traveling with my mother and saw Air Force One on a plane.
Cool.
But I wonder if they thought that it's like, this is like a different plane. Yeah, this will be fine.
Yeah, this is good.
So they had Blade Runner on the plane back, and before Blade Runner comes out, I'm gonna watch all 3 versions. So I was like, I can't watch Blade Runner on a plane, but I started it, and it was the theatrical version, so I did. That's how I got that done.
Yeah, that's one way to just
Knock
get it
that
out of the
one
way.
out.
Yeah, those are good movies to watch on a plane, ones that you would never watch otherwise.
Yeah.
But bad ones are really anything that's like a visually driven movie because you're watching on like a glare-filled screen the size of your phone. So I don't know, Gravity would probably be the worst movie because
Yeah,
you have
that'd be bad.
you have a disaster and you can like barely make out what's going on.
I watched The Force Awakens on a plane, and I crap you not, the guy in the window seat next to me, who also took up way too much of my space, kept making disapproving noises throughout the movie. He's just looking at my
what?
screen, just like the Rathars show up, and he's like, and I'm like, yeah, I get it.
You should have asked him like what was his problem?
I did, yeah, it just, okay, man, I should have. But then he would have like talked to me a lot.
That's like
and-
being next to a comment community that's like live action.
Yeah,
like,
commenting. Cringe.
Yeah, it was bad.
I used to travel all the time when I worked at Wizard World. I was just flying constantly, and I would miss a lot of my TV shows just because I was always traveling. I was like, I really need to catch up on Game of Thrones. And I started to watch 10, 15 minutes. And then I just, not because I was missing some big visual, visceral experience, but it's there are just certain things where just there's a scene and I'm just kind of trying to hide my laptop. So I don't know, you just feel like a dirty perv watching some of these things. There's kids around you and there's just that scene where it's 2 naked chicks making out and he's just giving exposition. And I just kind of have my screen down.
Sexposition.
Just listening to it. Yeah, it was, yes, the sexposition scene. So, yeah, I stopped watching Game of Thrones on the plane.
This guy next to me on a plane had a screener for Wolf of Wall Street. And so he starts it up, and it's the scene where she's
Right in the butt
right in the
beehole,
beginning,
yeah, right. Cocaine in the
beginning.
two-hole.
Yes, right in the beginning. And he's like, oh, shit. And he just starts looking around like this, because the movie wasn't even out yet. And he's slowly looking at me and does one of these.
Oh, you should have given him the wink.
And I go like this. I go, I've seen it twice. Gets so much better. But the worst thing that I did on a plane is I forget where I was coming from. It was really long. So I read Gone Girl, the book, on the plane, and then I watched Blue Valentine. Yeah, after that, and then I think I watched Before Midnight, which is the third in the Before Sunset trilogy. Got off the plane, and my boyfriend was picking me up, and I go, "Love is dead. We have to break up." It was just the worst thing to do.
That's rough.
On a plane. plane. Let us know your great plane movies and worst plane movie experiences in the comments below. That's it for us today. We did it.
That's the show.
Yeah.
That was the
Sweet.
show.
That's the
You
show.
guys killed it while I was gone. I love you, Joe Starr. You're the very best.
Welcome back,
Spencer
Roth.
Gilbert with the quips. We have a quips graphic coming from a fan. That's
Can't wait
pretty
to
amazing.
say a
excited.
quip worthy of it.
Silly Business, you're
Yeah.
the best partner in crime ever.
Thanks, dude. Welcome back.
JT, killing it in the booth. And Ryan, you've earned a name.
Oh.
That's what's
Naming
happening
day.
today on our
Nice.
Tuesday. Thank you for joining us. Chat to us, chat below, be nice to each other. Happy week.